Welcome to the workshop. I will be giving detailed information about what is HCPC registration, why it is important, and why you should get registered with HCPC in order to finding high-paying healthcare professional career in the United Kingdom. So without further delay, I'm moving to the next session. Here, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Brinchu Kunjumon. I am the founder and CEO of Beverse. And who is Beverse and what is Beverse? Beverse is a healthcare education company. We are based in Bangalore, India, and we are providing career accelerator programs designed for healthcare professionals, aiding in the acceleration of their careers, both within India and internationally. Apart from the career accelerator programs, we are additionally offering mentorship programs to assist healthcare professionals in completing registrations such as HCPC UK. Obviously, that's what you're here today. And apart from HCPC, we are handling Kodu Ireland, AIMS Australia, that's Australian Institute of Medical Sciences, and Medical Sciences Council for New Zealand, MCNC New Zealand, and these are the professional registrations that we are currently handling. So let me talk about HCPC, why HCPC registration matters. When we talk about HCPC, we should understand who is HCPC, right? HCPC is a statutory regulator of over 280,000 professionals from 15 healthcare professions in the United Kingdom. So as the statement clearly explains, it's a professional regulator regulating almost 15 professions in the United Kingdom. So when you are aspiring to become one of the members in any of these 15 professions being regulated by HCPC, you should get a registration with HCPC in order to legally practice. So obviously, it is a legal requirement to be registered with HCPC to practice in the HCPC regulated professions in the UK, right? HCPC registration opens doors to a broader range of career opportunities within the UK healthcare system, including the NHS and the other private healthcare sectors. So I would like to add one more point to this. It's not only opening doors to the healthcare industry in the United Kingdom, but it also opens doors for other international countries such as Australia, New Zealand, even Middle East to UAE, and many other countries are even accepting. Even Ireland is also accepting HCPC registration for some of their professions. But there will be specific criteria to be followed in order to get your HCPC registration accredited in those countries. And those requirements are entirely different from what we have in HCPC, right? So this is an added advantage if you're looking for international opportunity, and you can look for HCPC registration for sure and get registered as an HCPC accredited or registered healthcare professionals. So HCPC registration is a minimum requirement for job application and does not exempt individuals from the necessity of applying for positions or attending interviews. Here we have been discussing about 15 professions are being regulated by HCPC, right? So when we talk about 15 professions, what are they? The first one is art therapist. Second one is biomedical scientist. By name, you should not get confused. Biomedical scientist is a laboratory professional. Can be a laboratory technologist or a laboratory scientist or a medical scientist or biomedical scientist. Everything is similar, right? And then the podiatrist. Clinical scientist. Clinical scientist is basically the professionals who is having a science postgraduate qualification with a couple of years of experience in the clinical segment, preferably in the research side, right? Clinical research side. So those professionals can always approach towards a clinical scientist position, and there will be specialization required. And if you're interested to know about the clinical scientist position, you can reach out to us for sure. We will share the information with you. And then the dietitian, hearing aid dispensers, occupational therapist, operating department practitioners. So when it comes to operating department practitioners, there are courses being conducted as anesthesia technologists, those who are attending the operations in the theater. And there is an operating department practitioner program, BSc and diploma. And apart from this, physician assistant people who are currently working in the operating department and assisting the surgeon having scrub and other responsibilities can also look for this operating department practitioner if you're looking for. Then orthoptist, paramedics, physiotherapist, practitioner psychologist. So when it comes to the psychologist position, there are under this umbrella of practitioner psychologists, there are many subdivisions. So you need to, based on your experience and the background, you need to specifically meet the requirement for each and every title, right? So for example, educational psychologist, clinical psychologist, and occupational psychologist. So there are different categories. So based on your experience, you can demonstrate the proficiencies in that case. Then we have prosthetists and radiographers, and obviously speech and language therapists. These are the 15 professions are currently being regulated by HCPC. In future, there might be updates, and you can freely visit HCPC website and get to know more about these programs. Okay, so you must be wondering whether can I get registered with HCPC, and what is the eligibility for HCPC registration, right? In general, when you are referring HCPC guidelines or any documents from the HCPC in relation with the eligibility for HCPC registration, HCPC does not determine professionals' eligibility solely based on their educational titles or years of professional experiences. So when we are talking with the candidates, we are getting queries from candidates asking for, can I go for the HCPC registration? I'm having XYZ title, probably I'm a graduate in physiotherapy, and I'm having 20 years of experience. Can I get registered? Can I get the registration with HCPC? So you should understand one thing. HCPC is not defining your eligibility for the registration based on the title of your program and the number of years of experience. Both these things are irrelevant to the profession. What you have to do, you have to entirely meet the standard of proficiency. What is standard of proficiency? When you're approaching for registration for a particular profession, right? Say a radiographer. When you want to get registered as a radiographer and want to designate you as a radiographer in the country, there is a minimum standard and skills and proficiencies detailed in a document called standard of proficiency, right? So as a radiographer, you should be able to demonstrate proficiencies related to MRI, CT, ultrasound, fluoroscopy, nuclear medicine. These are 5 major important segments that you need to follow for radiographer. When you're talking about the biomedical scientists, the laboratory professions, you should be able to demonstrate your proficiencies in terms of cellular biology, hematology, biochemistry, microbiology, right? These are the modules, and there are additional modules as well. So you can meet those requirements either through your education qualification or through your professional qualification, or by combining both education and professional experiences, right? What does it mean? When they are demanding a bachelor's degree for a particular title, so you are not a bachelor degree holder, but you are a diploma holder having a couple of years of experience, thereby you can demonstrate the proficiencies which is required for the standard of proficiency, right? Then you can obviously get registered. When it comes to biomedical science registration, they are preferably looking for the minimum educational qualification. What they are looking at the level is a bachelor's degree, which is a honors bachelor's degree from any of these countries, right? But even though if you're a diploma holder, you are free to get the registration, and if you can demonstrate all these proficiencies given in the standard of proficiency document through your professional experience, you can combine both, and obviously you can look for the registration. There won't be any objection in that case. If you are meeting the entire standard of proficiency, then you will get registration for sure. They are not running behind any title, it should be a master's, it should be a bachelor's, and it should be a PhD. No, absolutely no. And they are least bothered about the number of years. So someone can work for 20 years, 25 years, and the person may not have any, required proficiencies demonstrated, right? And then obviously the registration will be declined. So there are 2 routes, obviously, you can look for if you are someone who's looking for HCPC registration. The first one is the UK route. UK route is for professionals who are holding HCPC pre-approved qualification within the UK. So basically, there's a list of qualifications you can check in HCPC website, or you can Google HCPC pre-approved program, so that you will get you will enter to the HCPC website where you can check the pre-approved program. So most of the programs are in UK, and that doesn't mean that all the programs in UK is pre-approved by HCPC. Absolutely not. So if you want, you can check out that program. If you're someone who got graduated from the UK, your primary qualification you're holding from UK, then you need to check in HCPC website whether your program is pre-approved or not. If you're pre-approved, then you can directly go for the UK route. That is pretty easy. And coming to the international route. So apart from UK, right? If you're someone who got graduated from outside the UK, which is not pre-approved by HCPC, so that you can apply through the international route. Okay, so let me quickly jump into the first step. What are the steps of HCPC registration and how you can basically get registered with HCPC? The step number one is the most important thing: prepare your HCPC application. Keep in mind, so I'm going to discuss the multiple steps. Keep in mind, preparing application is the most important step of HCPC registration journey. Why? Because this is the only stage where you have control over your application, right? When you're preparing your application, you should be 100% proficient in filling up the information, and you should demonstrate the entire proficiencies in your application, be it in your course information form, in your online application, your education, professional experiences. You should be able to demonstrate everything. Once you submit the document, once you submit the application, if HCPC is coming back asking for additional information, then that's a red flag, right? So you need to make sure that when you have the control on this application side, you need to make it as precise as possible, right? So when we begin with the prepare your application, then the first step is to collect your necessary documents required for the application filing. So I will be giving the list of documents very soon. So you can gather all the documents, and then the first and foremost thing, you need to prepare your course information form. So sometimes the professionals are getting confused whether this course information form is just a copy paste of the syllabus. Absolutely not. Yeah, if you have gone through the new course information form, they're asking for a lots of information, and you should be able to demonstrate the standard of proficiency through this course information form, which is your educational document. You're not going to submit your syllabus as it is, or your transcript as it is, or your mark list as it is. You will have to provide the entire information related to your course through the course information form. So that's one of the most important document. If you make any mistakes in the course information form, definitely your application will get rejected. Going forward, I will be covering the points where what are the possibilities of getting your application covered, right? So prepare your course information form. Once the course information form is ready, you need to get it attested from the college. Then you need to gather your supporting documents, which are your passport, a bank account statement, or any utility bill for the address proof, and your employment references, your professional degree certificate. So all these documents basically needs to get attested. And once you are done with all your documentation, you are good to go for preparing the online HCPC application, which is happening using the HCPC portal, basically. So here you need to log into HCPC for the scrutiny, and then you need to prepare your application where you should be able to demonstrate all your professional skills. So we have been getting lots of queries where HCPC is asking for additional information, and I'm not demonstrating so and so things. So here, what is actually happening? When they're asking for the professional experiences, right? The candidates are simply copy pasting the information we usually give in the the CV, right? Or the CV. We will write a basic story in the curriculum vitae or the resume, right? I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, and hundreds of unnecessary points we include in the CV, basically. So when you're copy pasting your CV to the standard of, to the HCPC online application, absolutely HCPC will come back and ask for additional information. Then you need to upload all your documents to HCPC portal. There are some criteria, you need to follow that. Then you need to submit it for the scrutiny by HCPC. So what is scrutiny? Scrutiny is the evaluation of your application, and they are comparing with the standard of proficiency whether you are meeting the 100% points given in the standard of proficiency through the application, right? So what are the documents that you need to get prepared? So these are the documents, and it is easily available in HCPC portal, or you can visit Beverse website, or you can reach out to us, and we will be sharing those information with you. And you need to have a current passport. It's obviously because it's an international process, right? So international process requires a passport, then your course syllabus or the course curriculum. So if you are not sure about what is course syllabus and course curriculum, you can reach out to the college and you need to get the copy of the course syllabus. It's a mandatory thing, right? Then academic transcript, complete mark list, graduation certificate. These are the primary documents, and we have candidates who are coming back and asking for what is academic transcript, what is graduation certificate. So you can reach out to your education institution rather than you are coming to us, and they will make you understand what exactly the documents are. Then the professional registration certificate. After having your graduation, you should be able to register with a professional body in India. It is not a mandatory requirement, but it's good to have point. It is obviously good that if you are previously registered with any of the professional bodies other than HCPC, right? So then the professional experience certificate. Professional experience certificate, if you have any previous work experience, you can have your experience letters. Otherwise, if you're currently working, you can get a still working letter or a personal reference letter from the reporting manager or the department head of the department. So then bank statement showing your address. It's not a bank transaction proof. It's a statement to show your address. So you should have a bank account that clearly mentions your name and your address to be given for the registration. You don't need to have 100-page 1 month, 6 month statement. We just take 1 or 2 months, 2 days of statement. It should not exceed 1 or 2 pages, and it's good to go. And then the certificate, all the certificates should be in English. If your certificate is in Hindi or in your regional languages, you should make that document translated to English and get attested from the certifying authorities, right? So then if you have an additional qualification, that also you can provide. Then the proof of name change if it has happened in your lifetime, right? Coming to step 2, that's a scrutiny. As I mentioned previously, scrutiny is the step where HCPC is evaluating your application and making a comparison with the standard of proficiency for your profession. Each profession, 15 professions are having 15 different standard of proficiencies. So they are comparing with the standard of proficiency requirement. If you are meeting the standard of proficiency, then they will be sending a registration for invitation. If you are not meeting the standard of proficiency in first hand, they will come back to you and will ask for additional information. That's what I mentioned previously. If you are filing the application, don't make any situation for them to ask for an additional information, right? So it is always better that in the one go, in the first level of assessment itself, your application is getting scrutinized and moving to the registration phase. So HCPC makes a decision regarding your eligibility for HCPC registration after the scrutiny, right? So what are the outcomes we can expect? So when we talk about the assessment, there is an outcome, obviously, right? When we talk about the outcome, the first thing is successful application. It's pretty, self-explanatory, right? When during the assessment, when your application considers for the evaluation, if it is meeting all the requirements for the standard of proficiency, you are good to go for the registration. You are pretty, eligible for the registration. There is no question asked. They will be sending registration invitation, and you will be getting registration within 24 hours of the registration payment made. So in our case, Beverse is having 100% success rate as of now. All our candidates got registration in first hand, and they haven't pulled for any second round of assessment. And the earliest registration we got is in 8 days. So it means that professional demonstrated everything in first hand, and they got all their verification completed within 7 days, and they made the payment on the 8th day, the same day they got the registration. So that's the fastest registration that we made. And this is not because of our efforts, this is because of the efforts from the HCPC. They considered the file of that particular candidate without any further delay, and everything was moving very fast, and the application was pretty proficient in that case, and they didn't ask any questions in that case. So in the first assessment, if they find any deficiencies, so then you need to give the additional document or additional letters or the letter obtained from the employer, from the college, according to your deficiency, and then they will reconsider your file, and then if it is good to go, they will send you a registration invitation. You will basically come back to the successful application category. From yellow, you will be coming to the green, right? So after asking this additional information, when you are responding to additional information, if they are not satisfied with your additional information, they will ask you to go for a test of competence. What is test of competence? They ask for additional information, you gave some information, but it is not trustworthy, or it's not, they didn't feel it's genuine, or it is not sufficient to meet that requirement, right? So then what is next? So they will give you recommendation for test of competence. It can be a written examination, it can be an interview, or it can be a period of adaptation where you have to complete some training programs or any workshops. It is based on what is the deficiency they identified, right? Once you complete the test of competence, and once you're successful in that, your file will be reconsidered, and then you will be moved to the green phase, which is successful application, where you will be invited for registration, and you can make the registration payment, and you can get registered with HCPC, right? Imagine after asking for additional information, you haven't demonstrated completely, they send you for test of competence, they are not satisfied with your outcome. Obviously, this application will be moved to unsuccessful application, where you are not eligible for registration, so that HCPC will refuse your admission to the register, right? Why it is happened? Because you failed to demonstrate the proficiencies what HCPC is asking for. You must have demonstrated some 100 other points, but when you failed to demonstrate the points what HCPC is asking for, then you are done, your application is cancelled, and you are not moving to the registration phase. So these are the basic outcomes that you can expect after the scrutiny. What are the major reasons for the application rejection? So sometimes we get comments from the professionals saying, see, my friend who studied with me, my classmate got registration, but they're asking for additional information to me. So this is again another misunderstanding, where the professional is thinking they are giving registration based on your university name, your syllabus, or your course title, or your degree certificate, or your mark list. Absolutely not. You need to demonstrate everything. Your friend must have demonstrated the 100% proficiencies in his application, right? You cannot simply give all the documents to HCPC saying, these are documents that I have, can you assess it and give me the registration? Absolutely no. They are a regulator. They can take decision. If you are not meeting any requirement, it can be one point, they can reject you. They can refuse your admission to the register, right? Your friend must have demonstrated all the proficiencies, but when you fail to prepare the application, right, that's a stage. So you're not giving adequate information in your application, which is required for a successful application processing. Or sometimes what happens when it comes to radiography, there are two modules basically. One is diagnostic radiographer, and the other one is a therapeutic radiographer. So imagine that person is specifically practiced in the diagnostic radiographer without having a proper knowledge. He chose therapeutic radiographer, but he had given details related to the diagnostic radiographer. Obviously, his application will get rejected, because when it comes to the therapeutic radiographer, he should be able to demonstrate the proficiencies and skills and the knowledge which is related to the therapeutic radiography. So that's a wrong module selection. So in that case, HCPC will completely reject. There is no objection, and you cannot go back to and say, HCPC, I know it was a mistake. Can you change it to diagnostic radiography? No, absolutely no. That application will be rejected and your payment will be lapsed. Then you need to start processing the application once again from the beginning. The next thing is most important, plagiarism. What is plagiarism? So we have been observing many candidates reaching out to us saying, I got the course information form and I got the application filled by my friend who already got registration, right? So here, what you are trying to do, you're trying to copy the information. So you must have studied the course in the same class, but in the course information form, you have your mark list, right? You have the hours that you attended, right? You have the skills that you demonstrated during this program, right? Everything is there. When you're copying or when you're taking the course information form, which is used by your friend for getting his registration, and you're taking it and you're giving it to HCPC, what do you think? HCPC, are they really fool not to understand it's a copy? When you're giving that document, there are hundreds and thousands of softwares are being used at HCPC level, where they will screen each and every document that you submit to them to make sure that this is not a copy paste from any of these professionals, right? When you're giving any document, make sure that it is not a copy paste, this is your own thing. And when you are writing about the experience, you may not have a proficiency to write the experiences. You will be getting it from your friend who already got registration. Again, the situation is same. You cannot copy paste. It's a plagiarism. They will catch the plagiarism, and the decision will be made from the HCPC registration board that will affect your application, as well as your friend will also get removed from the register. It is happening. It is not a joke. You can go back to HCPC website and you can see, which is clearly mentioned how they will check for the plagiarism, and it's a red flag, right? Okay. So then lack of proficiencies, as I already explained this multiple times. So it's pretty easy, the registration. Once you're successful in the scrutiny, if you're meeting the entire standard of proficiency, HCPC will be sending a registration invitation link where you will be taken to the candidate profile. In the candidate profile, you can make the registration payment. Within 24 hours, the registration payment, your registration number will be issued. There is no delay for that. So you are then officially designated as the title what you are looking for from HCPC, right? There is no question asked. Everything is pretty easy. Within 24 hours, the registration will be confirmed. So we explained all the three stages, right? The stage number one was prepare your application, prepare your course information form, prepare your online application, get the documents attested from the HCPC. Make sure you're meeting the standard of proficiency in first hand, then giving it for scrutiny, the evaluation, the comparison of your application with the HCPC standard of proficiency. Then everything is done. If everything is good to go, you are invited for registration. Then your registration payment is made. Within 24 hours, you are in the register, right? Okay, so I explained each and every points which is required for the HCPC registration and what is Beverse Health is doing with the HCPC registration and how can we help you with our support. So we have a very dedicated program called HCPC ProGuidance, as the name denotes. It's a ProGuidance. This is for a premium category professionals, right? Not every professional is knowledgeable to understand the standard of proficiency guidelines, the proficiencies basically. So here, our experts, they are helping the candidates to understand their proficiency. So as I told you, when you're filing an application as a radiographer, you must be having experience in CT, right? In CT, you should be able to demonstrate your proficiencies in the contrast injection, administration of contrast. You must be giving your previous experience in the CT module, but you may not be including a point which is related to the contrast administration. So that's a failure. When it comes to the assessment table, they are checking whether have you demonstrated the contrast administration, that point, but you failed to demonstrate it. But the reality is you are proficient in the contrast administration side, but you didn't know that you had to give that information for the HCPC assessment, right? So when it comes to Beverse, we will let you understand what is HCPC's requirement, and we will try to gather all the information which is required to be submitted to HCPC for getting a successful application processing and having done your registration. So we will help you with the end-to-end support, the complete mentorship. When you are enrolled with us for HCPC ProGuidance program, you will get a one-to-one mentorship from the subject matter level expert from our end. And this program is not being offered to every candidate. We have a screening criteria. When you are reaching out to us, we will check whether is there any possibility for a possible rejection. We don't want you to spend a few thousand, if not a lakh, to HCPC. If you know whether some percentage of probability for a rejection that you are not going to get the registration, we absolutely discourage you not to get enrolled with the program. If you are again really you're not really care about the money and still we don't provide that option for you, you can freely reach out to anyone else, or you can do it on your own. But still, if there is any possibility for getting the application accepted, then only we will accept your candidacy, and you are getting the one-on-one mentorship from our subject matter expert from the Beverse. So this is our corporate social responsibility. We are not letting people to spend a lot of money to get something which is not going to get in their case. So when you're reaching out to Beverse, we will be there with you until you get the registration done. So current timeline for getting registration is hardly 1 month. So that is directly depending on the HCPC's processing, but the current cycle which is going is not exceeding even 1 month. Within 1 month, you will be getting registered from the HCPC. So what is the value of HCPC ProGuidance? When you are decided to go with HCPC registration, why you should take support from Beverse basically? So here we have a team comprises experts with over 6 years in processing HCPC applications. Preferably those professionals are having 10 to 15 other experiences, but precisely for HCPC applications, they have over 6 years of experience. Started from 2017, we are maintaining a 100% success rate till date. It means when we started in 2017, started accepting applications from the candidates, till date, we do not have any single rejection. When we quoted publicly in a live session, still there is an opportunity. If any candidates who got rejected their application that is processed through Beverse, they can come forward and they can raise their voice, right? And we are not expecting any candidate to come forward because we don't have even 0.0001% of rejection. Everything was 100% till date. That is what the reason we have told you. We are not accepting each and every candidate. When there is a possibility for rejection, why we should unnecessarily accept that candidate and let them spend money? We are not letting them, right? So we offer a comprehensive end-to-end support to prepare your HCPC application, utilizing your educational, professional, and other necessary documents. When we are preparing the application, we will gather all the information from you, and based on which we will prepare the application. That doesn't mean that we will manipulate the information. We will try to demonstrate the entire proficiency which you are demonstrated through your document, right? So benefits from the mentorship provided by subject matter experts responding to HCPC queries when requested. Even in cases we are not, expert, those who are assessing the HCPC application, right? Assessment is happening from the HCPC side. When we are filing an application, there is a high possibility they can still ask for questions, but till date we haven't got any question. But still, if they're asking for any question, our subject matter experts will help you to respond to that questions with 100% precision, right? Then the most important thing, you will be getting access to the ProGuidance community, right? So many people were asking us, what is next after HCPC registration? So here you have an access to ProGuidance community where you will have direct access to and can get mentorship from people who already got registration. They are currently working in your preferred profession in the United Kingdom. And we will be conducting premium workshops, talks, webinars, and exclusive community sessions where we are inviting guest speakers, we are inviting professionals from your preferred industry, and we are giving access to each and every program for free of cost. None of this program will be charged for our community members. All this program is 100% free, but if anyone wishes to join in this program from outside, they will have to make payment absolutely 100%. But as a community member, that is our responsibility. We have to provide you some value addition. So everything you will get for free of cost. That doesn't mean that Beverse Health is offering a job, right? We will be mentoring you how to succeed in your career, but you need to put your 100% effort to learn from the lessons what we learn. So these are some of the success stories. I just want to mention one important point. So here you can see these are 3 different people who got registered as a biomedical scientist. And here I would like to bring your attention to the bottom page where in the first candidate, that Divya Thomas, you can see it's a BSc Medical Laboratory Technology, right? The same biomedical scientist, Hiral Ben Mahida, she is holding a BSc Biochemistry, right? Coming to the third person, another one, Sulina Kunil. She is also a biomedical scientist, but she is holding an MSc biotechnology. So this is what when we started this session, I mentioned with you. It is not about the title of the program. It is all about what you're demonstrating through the application. Then you are free to get registration. HCPC won't dictate on any aspects of getting registered. They have only one condition. You should satisfy your respective standard of proficiency. Got the point? Coming to another one, we have a couple of other stories from, one operating department practitioner. We have a clinical scientist, and we have another biomedical scientist. So these are some of the success stories, and you can see lots of testimonials and reviews. You can go back to Google, where you can search Beverse Health. You will get our company page where you can see our Google reviews. It is currently 5 out of 5, which means we currently do not have any rejection or dissatisfaction from any of these candidates, right? So they got everything in place, and we are running at 5 out of 5 right now. These are some of other, testimonials. And how to enroll? It's very easy. Either you can visit our website, which is www.beversel.com/page.programs, where you can see the available programs, or you can reach out to us on WhatsApp. That's 90480485509, or you can email us at chat@beversel.com, or you can go to Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. You can search for Beverse. You will get that, our official pages, and you can put a message, direct message. You will be responded with due course, right? So this is all about today's session. If you're confused, still I'm here. I'm online. You can ask me any questions, anything. Or if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box alternatively. So thank you so much for attending today's session. And this is Brinchu Kunjumon. It was a fantastic experience. And if any one of you wants to reach out to us, feel free to come back to our website or to our social media handles, or alternatively, you can use our contact credentials, be it our email address or the WhatsApp number, or you can call us directly. And we wish everyone a successful healthcare career, and we are here to assist with you anytime, anywhere. Once again, thank you so much. Have a nice evening.